Good afternoon and welcome to the 2011 U.S. Amateur Championship. We're here in Palm Harbor, Florida at Strokers Billiards. I'm J.R. Calvert with Inside Pool Magazine. Joining me here in the booth is Fred Agnew. Fred, welcome.
Thank you, J.R. Thank you. I love being here. Great room here.
It is a nice room. Very intimate, very classy. I love this room.
JR, you've been here all weekend. How's the crowd been? How's the staff been? How's it been here for the entire tournament?
You know what? Everybody's aces. It's a really nice atmosphere. Everybody's friendly. Staff's super friendly, of course. And Jose, the owner, real nice guy. And as far as the crowds, knowledgeable crowd, very knowledgeable pool crowd, and at the same time friendly. Really enjoyable. This was a great event, and coming into its final day, we're starting to see a bunch of the guys that are, and women, that have kind of risen to the top of the amateur level, so it's interesting.
And it was an interesting situation this weekend where, because of the number of people and the size of this location, and it's a pretty good sized pool hall, they actually had to use a second pool hall, which is about 15 minutes south of here. The Crooked Q in Clearwater, another excellent pool hall in the area. Nice tournament area, separation for the players, and nice seating for anybody who wants to come and watch. The women played there this weekend, yesterday, and now that we're down to the final brackets, the women are here for the final event with the men.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice feeling to have them both in the same place.
Sure.
Circumstances just led it to be that we had to have two locations this year, but I don't think anybody's not feeling right. This whole tournament was packed.
It was packed.
Friday.
It's not like this was a small place. This place was packed, elbow to elbow, everywhere.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting match between Will Haagensen and Peter Ziemak. This is the hot seat match, the winter side finals. So this whole amateur event started out with 2,177 players.
Wow.
They brought 128 the men and 32 of the women down here to Palm Harbor, and we're down to final two undefeated guys.
Excellent. Peter's from New England. He's from Windsor Locks, Connecticut, an area I know pretty well, as I'm from New England originally.
You decided to move down here, huh?
I had to come to paradise. Why not?
It's not that bad down here, is it?
Well, it's been a little bit chilly these past couple of days. We hit, as a high, 72 yesterday, and, the Floridians, it's a little bit too cold for the bones for this time of year, but we'll get by. I count myself as Floridian now because I was also cold.
I was cold. But I was cold because I had AC pounding down on my back. I just... But, it's setting out at night when it was, 65 degrees. That's something that us up in the Northeast, it's about the only time we ever get that is July and maybe August.
All right.
But, this is beautiful weather down here.
So let's talk about the format here for those of you who forgot from yesterday, JR, if you want to go through how we do this.
Well, the way we do it is the players lag, and I believe this is the case, and I was getting clarification on it, but somebody kind of wandered it away in the middle of the clarification is the winner of the lag gets to choose the game, and then the loser of the lag gets the break.
Oh, okay. For the first break.
And
it's winter break from there on, is that correct?
From there on. And they'll either choose to play 5 games of 8-ball first, and then 8 games of 9-ball, or vice versa.
Now, because this is the APA, and I know that during the league times, there are certain rules that the APA do that we normally wouldn't do in, let's say, a world standardized rules type of situation. How about here? How are the rules compared to the world standardized? And I'm talking about jump shots and things like that.
The jump shots, they're fairly much the same, from what I understand. At the same time, what we're doing with 8-ball is we're playing make it, take it, and it is more or less ball and pocket, is I believe what they're doing.
Oh, are they? Okay.
But you know what? At this rate, nobody's really slopping in balls.
That's right. That's
I
right.
wish I could say I've seen a slop in ball, but I haven't. And you know, I've seen people call the 8-ball, and that's about it.
Right. They're not doing the mark the pocket idea at this point.
No. A lot of these players are APA players. They'll be the 7s and 8-ball and 9s and 9-ball.
Right.
But for the most part, you know, the players that aren't, they're catering to them. They're not saying, look, you got to know all the APA rules.
Right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the APA is doing this to kind of get an idea of, you know, like kind of introduce themselves to people that might not have been around their leagues. And if you haven't been introduced to an APA league, you've probably been living under a rock. But if you haven't, I'm sure there's a number 1-800-3-RACK-'em that the players can call and find everything out.
That's right.
Well,
so here we go. They're ready for the lag.
And that is Peter on the left. He's appeared on this table before. And Will on the right. Will looks like a tall drink of water.
He looked pretty aggressive out there also, so expect to see him being a 9-ball player, but that's just a quick stereotype look.
Okay, see how Peter won the lag. So he's going ahead and racking, and he's going to rack up the game that he wants. So
right now it's going to be a mystery, is it? Until he starts putting... It looks like it's going to be 9-ball the way he's putting just the solids out there, unless he wants to play 8-ball with only the solids.
I think we're starting with 9-ball. Pretty fair to say, unless he's just playing a joke on, you know, putting the other stripes in late.
You see, I would be up there putting all the balls up, and then I'd say, okay, first game is 1 pocket, and see what Will would do.
I think I'd put them all up there and see his face. And know which one he doesn't like.
That's right. If he frowns, if he smiles, you take away the balls. If he starts smiling, then yeah.
See if they have a little bit of poker skills on top of whatever their pool skills are.
Right. So since they're playing 9-ball first, how many games do they actually play before they switch over?
They'll play 8 games of 9-ball.
So unless somebody wins 7-0. Or 7-1, I guess. Then
right.
Then there's a good chance that we'll see both games, 9-ball and 8-ball.
Right. That's and you know I've actually enjoyed a lot of the sets that come in where the players choose 8-ball first, because that's interesting, because you know that you see a guy who's trying to move on the other guy, and there's a little bit more strategy going on, and then he switches gears and starts playing 9-ball, and we've had some guys get fooled, where they go, I'm going to make this guy who's a non-APA player play 8-ball,
right,
and the non-APA player beats him. So, and
in the end, pool is pool. If you can play, you can play.
That's right. Well, let's take a look and see what Will's offering here is for game 1.
Table's been breaking pretty well. When I was last here, someone made the ball in the corner pocket every single time, coming from the side rails. And just as I say it,
he misses.
Blank.
He made the 5.
5 up table.
7's going to knock him a little bit funkier than what he wanted.
He's got a decent shot on the 1 ball. It is long for his first shot of the day, but you expect him at this stage of the tournament that he's favored to make this and go 2 rails around for the 2 ball that's hanging by the lower left pocket.
Thing about that shot is that the 4 ball could be in the way, and he's not going to English it too much. He's more than likely he's going to run a flat ball.
Yeah. Rails, and here comes the 4 ball, just like you say, and the 4 ball's in play,
and it's
and he got by.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt. Now he's got to negotiate. This is 3 balls up table, and if he's dead flat on this, he might have to power stroke it. Fast and loose. Here we go.
Oh, he's you can see
rearing
him
back.
Yeah, he's looking at it going, is there any other way besides me drawing 12 feet to do this shot?
If the table is nice and dry, it doesn't seem like it'd be an issue to draw this straight back. But if he's got the slight angle, that 8 ball's in play, everything's in play.
Well, that's the thing, is if he has a slight angle, I agree that he's supposed to slide this ball up table. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, he's bad. He's really bad here. And the type of player I am, JR, I'd be sitting here wondering, why in the world would that cue ball stop there? I'd rather be kicking at this 2-ball at this point rather than having it so close to being good. If he had this slight angle the other way, he could follow 2 rails around the 9 and 8, but it looks like it's actually coming into the 8.
Well, I think if he does have a little bit of an angle, he can elevate the rear end of his cue.
There he's got the power stroke. I like it.
And I think he's going to be right underneath the 3, up towards his pocket, and I'm pretty sure he's got a hole up there. It's just
I'm not sure this angle really shows it, but and from that angle, it actually looked like the 4-ball does pass the 8-9, so if he cozies it up, the cue ball may go straight forward and give him a shot in the 4-ball. Pretty nicely done there.
I think the 4 goes by the 9.
Yeah.
The issue here is that he's probably going to nick the 7 or miss it and go back up behind it.
Right.
Which is not the option.
Could draw around it, and he did. He went for the drawing around and completely missed the ball.
I like the shot. I didn't think
too.
he had quite that angle, but he did. I misread the angle horribly.
Always the case from up here, or any of these camera angles. This is Peter here.
This is Peter.
Have you? Has he been up on? You said he's been on the TV table.
Yeah, I believe this is his 3rd trip.
Nice.
And as far as Will Haagensen, this is his 1st trip here. I've been seeing him all weekend.
I don't know anything about Will Haagensen, and I didn't get. It says he's from Mobile, Alabama. I can't see his shoes, but he looks very European.
Yeah, he does. He has a very Netherlands look.
Yes, he does. Or wherever they make that ice cream.
I think we're being persuaded to believe that because of his last name.
I don't
know.
know. And that's not to say that a guy from that looks very European can't come from Mobile, Alabama, but I'm getting all kinds of thrown off.
Now, do you carom this, or do you combo it, or do you get on the other side and try and make the cut?
Even with ball in hand, this combo is very intimidating. I think he did the right thing. You just go ahead and play for the combo.
Yeah, I think I'd have played for the carom. I like the carom a lot.
I didn't realize the carom would be on. You're absolutely correct.
I hate the combo. I don't like combos where you're making a thin cut.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I guess I would have liked to have seen him take a look at that carom. And
yeah, I think the carom was on. Believe it or not, if you went down below the 8, because
it seems easy from down there.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a make.
Yeah, he can roll this ball in. He doesn't even have to pound it.
His elbows flying all over the place with that
you
shot.
See that ball or his arm chicken wing out there? Scared me for a second, and he bobbled a little bit.
1-0, Will Haagensen. Will Haagensen from Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama. Let's see where he's playing out of. Well, he is a 7 in the APA. He plays on Steal Your 8 Billiard Club. Been playing 25 years. He doesn't even look like he's 25 years old, is he?
He started in the womb when his mother was pregnant. Doesn't that count?
Well, yeah, I think it does. Well, his accomplishments, he says this is his first time here, and he's really taking it serious. Lots of laughs. So he's staying real about it, it seems like, as he checks the rack and says, no, that's not good enough.
It looks like he said something, but I think he said, I'm going to break this one no matter how you rack them. Now, the last time, neither of the corner balls, wing balls, scared the corner pocket, but he's breaking from the same area. So he's either going to adjust with speed, or he's just going to hit him again the same exact way, and maybe something will go.
Well, I think he needs to adjust his hit more than anything.
Let's see how that cue ball controls.
He did hit it on the safe side. Did there, got the 1, the 8, or 1 and the 4.
Well, he made 2 balls in the break, so I guess you can't fault him for that.
And the 2,
It's behind the 7 ball.
So I'm going to push here. I don't really like the fact that the 3, 8, 5 are all the way against the rail there. If they were a little bit more out, I would have kicked and tried to kick the 2 into them. But now I'm just going to push and really leave my opponent something that he's going to fly at.
Well, there doesn't look to be a decent place to push down table by the rack area, because no matter what, you're going to be shooting at this ball. The other guy is going to be shooting at this ball. It's completely safe all the way around, plus the cue ball would be coming towards the 3. So now he's looking at pushing up table,
yeah,
which none of it looks good.
None of it really looks good, but I think I'd rather put him up in that left-hand corner and at least let him try a safe or try a bank.
Why does it look like that? There you go.
That's about where I'd be pushing to.
All right. I think the only way he'd get this back is if he froze it inside the pockets. Safety. 1 rail down towards the 3-5, I guess.
Well,
Certainly don't want to hang the 2, though.
I think that he's going to, no matter what he does, he's going to end up hanging the 2 that way. That's why I like that push. You might consider even putting the 2 behind the 7.
Yeah, so the bank out, so that he doesn't have a clean shot, and he has a good shot at getting behind the 5. Didn't quite get there, but at least he's left length. Free shot to shoot, though.
Well, that was darn near a perfect volley for pushing out. Both players really wanted to shoot the shot,
right?
But weren't guaranteed anything. And in the end, Will got his shot that he needed, as opposed to kicking.
He's made it, and now he's on the 3. Bounce. Looks all good for Will here.
You know, he kept the angle right.
Now it's a little. I mean, he's taller than I am. This shot, I'm not a basketball player, so this stretch would be very difficult for me to get up and down the table here. Well, but he's much taller. He probably has no problem reaching it.
Yeah, but the angle he has, it's a straight follow, and he'll go right at the 7 almost.
He put a little English on there, and he's okay.
He spiked it a little bit.
Yeah.
Still, all he has to do is follow it. He'll stay on the right side of the 7, so he glides straight off towards the 8 after this.
I was wondering if he was going to pound on this ball and draw it to the side rail the way he's stroking. He does.
It's fine.
Sometimes you like to hit them harder to get the confidence in your stroke, because once you start soft pedaling and missing, it goes downhill very quickly from there.
Well, one of the things too is, you know, he's got to learn a couple of different strokes. Right now I've only seen him punch balls.
Right.
And he needs to learn how to roll the ball from below center, rolling it from center. That's kind of why we saw that reaction that he had off the 5 ball. It was a punch follow, and he really increased the angle instead of taking the best stroke towards his.
He almost missed this shot earlier, and there you go. It's
there it is.
The same type of shot from the last rack, and I didn't mean to jinx him, but it looked like he had the same issue with that back cut on the 8 ball up table.
Well, you know, back to what I was saying, with following the 6 down table and staying in a zone where he's going to make the 7 in the side with center ball, drift and keep an angle to the rail while he shot the 8.
Right.
That kept him choosing that shot that everybody makes,
Right.
as opposed to getting inside this one. And I see it, but I just, you know, you can only explain so much. Too many years of saying,
exactly.
No, you don't draw that ball that way.
This is interesting because from first look I thought he was clear on this 8, but apparently not, or else he would have already shot this ball.
This shot, I like this to nick and bank the 8 to the bottom rail, second diamond, and run the cue ball after the first rail first to the 8, and you run it 4 rails down onto the about where he's standing, where the shaft of his cue is.
Try to freeze it on the upper rail, mid rail.
And it's a no-brainer. You just can't hit the 8 thick.
I wonder if he almost has the room to actually short kick this 8 ball in, and I'm wondering if he's trying to convince himself not to do this. You know.
Oh, look at this. Could he run 2 rails and kick it in, old Willie Mosconi style?
Well, that'd be a shock if he tried to do this. I think he's trying to see how much of that ball he has to hit to get out of the way.
You know what's so funny is this is that Willie Mosconi shot, by the way. You know the 1-5 railer?
That's right.
It is exactly it. I don't think I've ever really noticed that before, but it really is.
Let's see if he shoots your shot here. Looks like he's going to hit it slow, though. That's not hard
No,
enough.
yeah, he hit thick.
This is put the balls in the middle of the table for the other guy.
A little bit thinner hit, and you can see what I'm talking
Right.
about. It's like a one-pocket shot that doesn't really ever come up. Nobody uses it because it really is bad in one pocket.
I'd like to see Will's stroke stop before he keeps on shooting.
He just,
It looks like he's still in mid warm-up stroke, and then bam. Oh, he stopped. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's 2-0.
all right, we'll take a quick commercial break here, folks, and we'll be right back. And Will's coming along here.
2-0 on a 9-ball. 9-ball is the game that Peter chose. Will break from the same spot again, I can see. He did make 2 balls in the break last time, but I don't believe that either of the wing balls went in. But maybe he doesn't care.
Yeah, maybe.
Just whack him and get a ball in.
You know, and it goes along with his style. He doesn't pause. He doesn't have the delivery stroke
Right.
pause. He's young.
What's interesting is he's looking
9
at the
foot
rack. He's looking at the rack and, saying yes or no. And I have to wonder, what is he looking at if he's not making the corner ball and adjusting from here?
This rack looks like it's got a hair counterclockwise tilt.
You can
Like
see
that
the 8 ball, you
eight's-
see the line.
Yeah, you can see it.
Which means the 4 ball should go in. No, but he did get the one in the side, which is a common ball to make in 9-ball. But usually that'll go in maybe with a cue ball closer to the center of the table.
Yeah, I used to hate making a one on the side because that's the one that I was trying to
That's the
set
only
up.
one. You try to get that 1 ball up table. Tricky shot here. I mean, bread and butter for professionals, but still a tricky shot. Back it through the center of the table. Cue ball to the center of the table. 1 rail up to the second diamond. Pretty good. 4 balls hanging in the side pocket.
Yeah, Kamui is one of our sponsors. I want to thank him for helping us out. They also are helping anybody that wants to get an inside pool subscription by making the 2-year subscription a reduced price of $27.99 for a limited time. First 50 people will get a Kamui tip voucher worth $20. You
Nice.
get about a $60 set of products there for $27.99. And if you feel like you want to take advantage of that, go right on over to InsidePoolMag.com and check out the store button.
Well, good shot there. He drew the 3 ball, cue ball into the 7 ball and nicked it, and could have gotten trapped, but he got enough of the 4 ball, cut it down the rail. Good shot. He's on the 5. Expect him to cut this in 2 rails around cue ball, or right around the center of the table for the 6 ball. Not an easy shot by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, this shot here, I hit this ball, roll it, center ball, with a hair of inside, and I flatten it out so that I don't run past the 7 too much. It's going to go past the 7. And see how he's waving his hand? It's because he doesn't realize that stroke exists. But yeah, you would be probably a half a diamond to 3/4 of a diamond closer towards the 7 ball right now, and you would be able to stroke that ball without rolling it, so to speak, with a little 1-inch stroke.
I just reared back and fired it into the Brunswick corner pocket, the Brunswick Gold Crown corner pocket. He used all the pocket on that shot. Hit it with pace too.
Yeah, he did. Now, if theory serves right, he's supposed to run this ball as well, which he did.
Good.
Looks like he's
Gonna
ending up
go,
straight in the
gonna go.
corner, though.
Well, if the 9-ball is easy in the side pocket, he'll just draw it back. He likes to draw everything, which a lot of us like to do as players who grew up in the 9-ball era.
Bread and butter stroke, right?
There you go.
Takes his commanding 3-0 lead. If you're Peter, you're starting to go, well, maybe I should have played 8-ball.
Yeah, that's right. Or maybe we should have started this match in the afternoon. I mean, later in the afternoon. It's still morning as far as I'm concerned. Game 4. Will is up 3-0. I'll go with the European theme. That'd be great to hear him interviewed later on. He probably has nothing to do with Europe.
Alabama, right? He might have a southern accent, I'm not sure.
Southern Denmark.
Yeah. Yep.
And again, we're in the. This is for the point here. This is the winner's side or the winner's side finals.
This is for the be guaranteed a berth into the finals. I think both these guys are already guaranteed a trophy.
Nice.
Loser here is getting third.
That's right, guaranteed third place.
It's not bad.
Now, do they have to win or to get here, or just place high in their local state?
First or second, I think,
Okay.
in the regional. And like we said, they started out with 2,177 participants. Come down to the final 128 of the men and 32 of the women.
That's pretty nice.
It's nice. And,
Regardless, they've had a great tournament considering where they have to go through the regionals in their home state and come down here. And you can't ask for much of a better place to come down to for a national tournament.
Yeah, we were discussing that possible locations for next year, and one of the first things everybody said is, it's November, it has to be warm.
It's got to be warm.
It should be warm. Well, yeah, nobody wants to win a trip to Antarctica in January.
Exactly.
Don't know why.
Well, you know, it snowed in the Northeast in October, as many of you out there know, and I live down here in Florida now, so I don't really know what's going on up there, other than I know it snowed, and I know it snowed a lot, and a lot of people are still out of power, believe it or not.
They are. There's news reports, and I think I was on Facebook the other day, and Bruce Bartholet, one of the APA league operators for Connecticut, said, I finally got power, woohoo.
How'd Pennsylvania do?
Well, remarkably, we skirted that scare. We did not get but about 3 or 4 inches, and that happened Friday night. By the time Sunday came around, it was pretty much melted. So, wasn't that bad. False alarm.
False alarm, or my hometown, or the town I have my house in, up in Massachusetts, we had 21 inches.
Wow. 21 inches?
That's like all of the snow put together for every October since records have started.
I just,
It's tough to imagine.
A couple of years ago, we had so much snow that they didn't know where to put the rest of it.
Yeah, right.
In
the water.
They were trucking it out of the downtown. They had 20-foot snow mounds at the Walmarts and everything else, and we just had no more room to put snow,
That's
and we
right.
kept getting these 3 and 4 foot snows. It was just killing us.
Peter's having a hard time racking here. I don't know what's going on since the first 3 racks. He really didn't have any issues. Could be that he's feeling the 3-0 heat.
I really think that he doesn't want to set them up and let yet another 2-ball break fly out the door because there's gaps in the rack that he feels are making the balls go. And I think what you're going to find is, if Peter was smart, it'd become a rack your own, and then I'll go inspect what you get ready to break.
Right, and there he goes.
It's almost like we're doing this in post.
That's right. This match actually happened yesterday. Just kidding, in case people believe me.
Later, Fred's going to make a brilliant call.
That's right.
We saw it all beforehand, right? And Peter did go up and analyze it. I think they're going to have the tournament director maybe go out with a cloth and
wipe it down,
move the cloth a little bit. Something needs to happen there.
Well, a few people have started to roll it, and since I've been here, the temperature has jumped up just a little bit. Either that or the air conditioning turned off. One in the side again.
Squatted his rock, and the two's taking its place. It's going to be right there.
Oh, he's got a shot on this two in the side. Oh,
I think
pretty nice.
Only has to bring it back a few inches, and it'll be perfect. I mean, if he has to replace the cue ball right where it's at, he might be perfect.
Pretty good.
That's about what he did, too. Good touch.
The only question is whether or not the 8-ball comes to play, and I think he has enough of an angle that this cue ball would just slide straight down through the rack area.
Mm-hmm.
I think he underhit that one a little bit, but probably nervous about that 8-ball.
Yeah. Well, I think soon as the ball stopped rolling, he yelled, "Gin."
That's right. A good shot. He's above the 5-ball, so he doesn't have to worry about any of the balls.
The reality of this is the only two shots that mean anything are the 6 to the 7 and the 7 to the 8. Everything else, he could be on any side of the balls he wanted. He was pretty much going to have his run of whatever he wanted to do.
Right. And to me, JR, it looks like if you had ball in hand on the 7, there's only like one angle that you don't want. You can either come straight on, or you can have an angle to bounce out for the cue ball back to or towards the center of the table, out to the left side. But there's that one angle that you're almost straight, but not quite straight onto the 7. That'd be no good. Let's see where he puts it.
Oh, he did it perfectly.
And it bounced a little bit. He's good.
He's rooting.
That's good.
He hit it perfectly. You know, you never know how it's going to bounce off that rail, and there's always that, please give me the bounce, don't get stuck there.
This is that same type of bread and butter shot. Cut the ball up, cue ball right through the center of the table, right. And you really want to go all the way to the rail, but not to the 9. He's okay. For me, I want to go to the rail because I'm so short.
Yeah, I would always go to the rail on this, and it's just my particular, feelings.
I think most players will try to do that.
Well, it's kind of like shooting at the center of the target. You know that anywhere from, the center of the table to the rail and back to the center of the table are fine. Why would you decide to, make that smaller and only hit 3 inches of the first 3 inches?
Well, that was break and run there.
Sure was.
After all of the racking issues, and I don't know if Peter's going to let Will rack his own again.
I don't think so. Well, while he sets these up, I know it's going to take him a second. We'll say thanks to one of our sponsors.
I'm John Hendrick, pool player and owner of the Green Room in Pineville, North Carolina. My serious players demand quality, and that's why I've switched to Milliken Super Pro. This cloth plays at the perfect speed. It lasts a long time, and the spill guard protection saves my tables from stains. It saves me money, and my customers love it.
Milliken Super Pro, exclusively from Sterling Gaming.
Milliken's got me covered. How about you?
And we're back, and miraculously the balls have set up fairly well.
4-0 here, and it's commanding 9. Oh, almost made the 9. Will Haagensen has a commanding lead right now.
Well, he doesn't have a ball on the break though, which
doesn't
is
make the ball on the break. And if you're down 4-0, you're begging things to be as easy as possible. And he's got a shot on the 1, but the 2 ball is behind the 3, so it's not a hard shot if you were in the lead, but seems impossible when you're behind. Let's slide this across the table. Good shot.
good shot.
I mean, it's a good shot because of where he's coming from. 4-0 down. He's got a shot finally. Just
Right.
watch the guy break and run on him, stretching out the lead.
Well, I'm interested to see after he finesses his 2 for the 3, whether he's going to try the 5-9, because if you recall, he was in the catbird seat for the first game with
Right.
what appeared to be an easy 8-9 combo that
Not that any
turned out not to be.
Not that any combo is easy. And the 5 might pass the 9 ball. What would be treacherous is if it just barely passes and he can't decide whether or not he wants to shoot it or shoot the combo.
Right. Well, the 9 looks like it's at perfect distance off the rail where you can't get in behind it, and it's a fairly big combo spot. Like
Right.
he could catch rail first, behind the ball, and cut it off the rail a hair, and then even hit it into the rail a little bit. It's a pretty big ball down here for him to make.
He hit this one pretty firm, and he killed
He
it
hit
off
it.
the rail. And he's coming across the angle, but he's there.
Well, I think we're going to see him decide where he wants the cue ball first. He did it last time, but I think he made a poor decision because I thought the carom was in play.
Right. There we go.
See if Peter can get on the board here. Is he going to measure it up? He sure is.
He already shook his head. I don't know if anybody saw that. He shook his head like he needed this ball in hand instead. I think he makes this one though. And it's still moving.
The
Oh,
one
boy.
place that he could get in behind it. Wow.
Wow.
He's sick.
He is.
He's absolutely sick.
He'll go back thinking about those 2 combinations that really he had to shoot at. I jinxed him.
Well, right now the score is 5-0, and it can easily be 3-2.
Sure.
And it's just a couple of poor strokes.
Pretty commanding lead though, 5-0.
Well, he needs something. He needs some unforced errors or some freakish luck to get him back into the set, on top of playing almost perfect. He can't continue to make those types of unforced errors.
And he really needs to get to the 8 ball, because right now there's every possibility of not seeing 8 ball in this set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell you the truth, 6-0. I think Pete might just, start to give up.
Look in the west side.
Say, wait a minute, I can go start this all new if I just get out of here right now. This is not what we were expecting. I'm expecting a back and forth. But, Pete's only made, I'd say 6 or 8 balls the whole set.
Right.
It's been the Will Haagensen break show.
Well, he didn't make a ball in the break last time, so he's been making the 1 in the side pocket. Previously, 1 in the side pocket. Oh, he scratched.
And a cue, and the last thing right now Peter wants to see is a combo. But the 4's got a little bit of trap. He can get underneath it to shoot it up in the upper right-hand corner pocket here. If he slides straight over off that 3, I think that's going to be his best bet, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's all about the 4 ball at this point.
And the bank looks like the 6 is just barely in the way. I don't even know whether he gets past the 8, to tell you the truth. But if he does get underneath here, he has 2 or 3 balls that he can use as a safety. And I think that he may just end up shooting the safety.
He's gone a little too far unless he's planning on going across the table.
I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to roll it in. He doesn't want to slide. He wants to roll. A little bit more consistent there. Slide is my second choice.
1 rail across through the rack area. He's got to come up short. Probably hit this as good
Hey.
as you could ask for. He's a little closer, but what
I
else are
think-
you going to do?
I think he can take a shot at making it, which he should make.
Back
And
and
even-
forth, and have the cue ball possibly behind the 6.
Or back behind the 8. He's about right. He wants to be right a couple inches below the 8 with the cue ball. It's just a natural hit. Pure top English.
It's possible the ball goes in the side pocket. I can't tell from this angle how easy or difficult it is. And he does go for the side pocket, and apparently not so easy.
Oh, it was tough. I know he feels he should have made it.
Right.
He's going to be watching these and going, this is where I missed that easy 4-ball that wasn't as tough as what I gave it, you know.
I'd say, JR, that's the 4th time he's come up on something that if the 4-ball had been a little bit lower and just taken the side pocket idea right out of play, he would have shot it up table, been out.
Yep.
And I think we saw something similar on the 8-9 combination, even the 5-9 combination. It was probably so close enough that he had a little bit of to start thinking about it.
Yeah, they say it's a game of inches. They don't tell you that it's, you know, an inch here and an inch there changes your decision making a lot of times too.
Well, you know, this game's a game of hairs, not inches. That's
Yeah, inches. Who goes that far? Yeah. Game of nanometers.
Meanwhile, Will is slightly on the wrong side of this 6, but he's just going to pound something and see what happens.
I think he has to consider rolling this from a center ball. That was not what I would expect him to do, but he got a really good kiss. He could have rolled that ball center ball and been okay.
Does he just roll forward here? And
Not a problem.
what's the angle on the 8?
He's got an up and down angle.
How do you like to play this one, JR?
I hit this one with high and a hair of right, and I come straight down table. I guess that had less angle than what I thought, but he did the right shot. If it's that way, he's holding it up with English more than anything.
Right.
Because that bow is going to really kill you and knock you out of position.
And these pockets are pretty good to be taking that kind of shot. So, we got a man. He's on the hill now.
He's on the hill. Well, let me take a one last final commercial break here, folks.
40 years of Q Craftsmanship. A state-of-the-art production facility. Revolutionary design. When you step to the table, unleash the fury. Precision craftsmanship. A player's cue ready for action. A cue with a sweet hit. A consistent hit. See the entire line of Fury cues and unleash your fury.
And we're back.
Will Haagensen on the hill, 6-0 right now. You know, Peter hasn't been able to get out of the seat too much, and I think he's just been a little bit unfortunate with some of the positions he's had, and he's taken some choices that may have gotten him to a different score. As you said, maybe that first carom versus combination that he played could have set a different tone. He's here now, and you know, obviously the mental game is definitely what plays into it at this point. He's definitely a very good shooter. He's here at the finals of this event, and you know, we're hoping he catches a couple of breaks, gets himself back in the match.
Well, he's chewing his gum a little bit more vigorously right now. But
different piece.
I think if he looks back on this, he would have realized that he had to shot up in the corner that might have been easier, or the safety that was something that you need to do. Is you need to have Will's mental idea saying that he's
shot.
Not just going to be given opportunity after opportunity. Will's free-willing. He was free-willing when it was 3-0.
Right.
Because it did look like there was never going to be any grease or any net that would keep him from getting out.
Right. Well, he's made the one ball in the side pocket again. So I suspect he's been making that one ball in the side pocket all the way through this tournament.
I think so. Meanwhile, he has a pretty good bank safety. He could even kick at this too, which is what he's looking at doing right now. I don't think that's the bank shot that he's looking at, because it's just barely going to go past the side if he banks it. But if he kicks it, he can kick it down near the 4, hit the bottom side, and that's when that cue ball will run down to the bottom rail and up into the 6.
Yeah, I would definitely be kicking at this ball instead, as you say. Oh, and
I hit it full in the face, but he had his safety valves there.
It looked like, unless you see it completely wrong, it almost looks like he was purposely hitting and sticking and going 2 rails out.
hey, he might have. And there's nothing wrong with that shot as long as it doesn't bounce back out. I mean, he hit the 4, and I think that's what trapped it against the rail here.
Sure.
If
the 4 ball doesn't hit it, it's coming 2 rails around.
Peter's going, hallelujah, and I don't have to shoot a combo.
That's right. Sometimes when you're down against it, I know, all joking aside, sometimes you'd rather have this than have too much of a decision to make. Well, now I'm thinking Peter's. So now I think Peter's thought way too long on this. I'm not saying he should give up, but I think he's given himself too many options now. He's got to be firing.
No, I don't like this shot. This is sellout city.
Sellout city, yeah, that's right.
All the traffic's on the other end of the table. He had to hit a hard shot or go to the bottom rail and kick. I would have actually been kicking 3 rails, except for the 7. You could scratch off the 7 in the side if you got in behind it.
And that looked like his first choice, but it came up where he saw something else that now he had to consider it. And I agree with you. I think he took a shot that most of us wouldn't have been looking at.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the freewheeling.
Oh, that might fall.
It's still rolling.
Ooh,
5 seconds, roll up there and shoot it.
You better shoot quick. 4's hanging, though. It isn't that bad of an idea.
And something like that's going to make Peter sick, too. I mean, Will just fired at that ball. A lot of good, nice stroke, though. Oh, he just...
Could have got ugly there. Could have got real ugly if he nicks that 5 against the rail a little bit further.
Well, as they say, honey badger don't care.
Well, I think we're going to see yet another stroke from him, a draw stroke.
Very good. Or some kind of puncher.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
he's good.
When he's looking back at these tapes years from now, he's going to say, yeah, all I needed to do at that point was just to pop all my shots.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what, he's going to be a great player, you can tell. He's already a really good player.
And hopefully he'll watch this. Are we recording this? He can watch the video, and he can either be very upset or learn from it.
Exactly. Well, that does bring up a good question. Everybody wants to know where these videos are archived at. We are recording them in full 1080p.
Oh, nice.
If you want to know where they're at our Inside Pool YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Inside Pool Mag. And if you want to subscribe to those videos, it's free. And they'll be right on your homepage when you come to YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch these videos in the future for free.
That was probably the best stroke I've seen Will shoot this entire set. And this is for the game. That's the set. 7-0.
Commanding lead. Let's give him his 7 so that he can see this when he's watching it in return. That was...
oh, I'm sorry. Are we going to? We're beyond the race to 7, or is that right?
No. That's just for the finals that we'll be going races to 11.
So that was the set.
And that was it.
That's right.
Well, folks, thanks for taking 20 minutes to tune in and watch Will Haagensen, Peter Ziemak match.
That's right. Will served up a bagel there.
Yeah, it's still early enough to get a bagel. Well, thanks, Fred Agnew. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us here. We're going to invite you back to do a few more since you only did about 20 minutes of actual commentary.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Love being here.
Everybody, thanks out in the chat room for hanging out with us. Thank all of our moderators, Corner Market Bob, Upstate Al, whole crew, and thanks to the APA for producing the U.S. Amateur Championship event. Thanks to our sponsors, Kamui Tips, Milliken Super Pro Cloth, and Fury Cues, and last but not least, QSite.com for all your billiard needs. Stay tuned, folks. We'll have another match coming back at you shortly.